So this is getting a little bit weird now. This is getting a little bit weird. We have now got obviously the talk of the Project B talk, and obviously following Project B's announced signing of Nneka Nwumeke, question was raised regarding funding. While Project B denies it's backed in any way by Saudi Arabia, there is a connection. SELA, a subsidiary of the Saudi Arabia PIF, is a league event partner. So basically, Saudi Arabia is not directly involved with it, but Saudi Arabia is involved. That is pretty much what's happening here. That's pretty much what's happening. Is that, yes, the a company that is being ran by the Saudi Arabian government is heavily involved, but the government itself isn't. I mean, I guess they're not wrong, and they're absolutely not wrong. And this just comes into question where it's like, for me, my opinion on all this is that, like, it becomes really difficult for these players. I've always said this, where it's like, when you base your league on activism, I'm like, I always hated the WNBA as an activist league thing, because it's like, first of all, like, do you have to, like, does the activism end up happening for every little thing? Does it end up being for every little thing? Like, do you have to then do you pick and choose what you are outraged by and what you're pushing? And we all know it's the latter. But at the same time, like, that's the problem where it becomes an activism league. It's like, okay, yeah, you know what? Like, when there are accusations of things, you have to, you know, we have to take everything seriously, and we have to push all these stuff. But it's like, if it's the right person, that is, like, you know, if it's Caitlin Clark, we're not going to. And that's where the problem is with the activism league, is there's selective outrage. It's selective outrage. It's selective activism. And I always said this, where it's like, I have no issue if a player wants to be an activist. I have absolutely no issue if a player wants to be. That's why I know a lot of people, like, don't like Natasha Cloud. I don't care. Like, I don't care that she wants to be an activist. I didn't necessarily care that Bree Turner wanted that. As long as Bree Turner, which she did, shows up and plays well and gives her all for the team, don't care. I really, really don't care. The problem is that when it becomes an expectation that everyone that plays in a basketball league is an activist, when the reality is that some people just want to play basketball. And it's not a gender-specific thing. It's not a race-specific thing. You know, some people that like playing basketball just want to play basketball. They just want to hoop. And I don't think that should ever be seen as a negative. I don't think it should ever be seen as a negative towards a person. But that's obviously the way it is. And just like, I don't even mind that Nneka Nwumeke signed with this league. I don't really care. I really don't care if if the league is funded a little bit by Saudi Arabia. Because the Saudis, if you guys don't know, they're involved in fucking everything. Like, if as a person, it's not going to be long until, as a person, even if you are against it, if you don't do anything that the Saudi Arabia are involved in, or their government has any ties to, you would literally be left, I'm not joking, throwing a ball against a wall as your only source of entertainment. Because they're putting money in everything. Because the oil money's running out, so they're pumping money. They have all this liquid cash that they're putting into anything. Anything to see what sticks. And, like, who knows? Like, it's always one of those things where it's like, who knows what they're going to be in at this stage. Like, they're going to have involvement in everything. They're probably going to have an involvement in the WNBA soon. They genuinely are going to, well, they are. The likelihood is they're probably going to have, again, an involvement in the W. It's just one of those things where it is what it is. Like, if it's, I was saying this, if it's a thing where all players pull out of this because of where the money's coming from, then I'm sorry, a company, a subsidiary of the Saudi PIF, a different subsidiary is probably going to go and fucking invest in Unrivaled. Like that's the thing. They're probably going to go and buy the stake in the WNBA, not a team, but they're probably going to buy some of the stakes in the WNBA. The extra investment, they're going to buy it off somebody. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. And look, I think the players are kind of in a weird position because it's about obviously all the league supposedly is about more activism than it is basketball, which I've always said is a problem. And again, I have zero issues with any players in this league that are activists. But I think when it becomes a case where players are supposed to be like that, and if you're not an activist, it's a problem. And then suddenly you're now going to see 60 people, including the freaking head of the WNBPA of the Activist League, basically saying, you know what, money's green. Saudi money's green too. Saudi's money is green. The Saudi money is green too. But yeah, that's a look. At the end of the day, we all kind of know what's happening. We all know that it's a situation where, look, maybe the money's a little bit iffy. Maybe this league's a little bit iffy. But for me, I'm like, just take your money. I won't begrudge any player for playing in this league. At the same time, it is a little bit ironic, again, that the Activist League is the one, like the head of the Activist League basically is the first person to do it. I think that's just ironic, and maybe you can definitely question the hypocrisy. Like, you can definitely call it hypocrisy there, but like, first of all, I don't really care. If hypocrisy, like, I will always stand this, where it's like, I say the vast majority of people at some stage in their life can be accused of being a hypocrite. Like, if that's the worst thing you're gonna call Nneka as a hypocrite, then cool. Very well could be. But yeah, it's a really, really interesting thing just to see the way people are going to look at this league, because people are like, oh, social media backlash might shut this league down. But that's the thing, where it's like, social media backlash literally made the WNBPA try to investigate a woman yodeling or flight react dolphin noises. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what we think it was. A woman yodeling. It could have been a flight reacts meme, because apparently they do play a flight react soundtrack for the Pelicans games, instead of from the but it's a like, not Pelicans games, sorry, Pacers games. But like, look, it's just weird. It's just weird all around. At the end of the day, by the looks of things, there is without question, whether maybe not directly but indirectly, some Saudi funding. But also, I don't necessarily care. Like, I don't care. Like, I understand all the sports washing things. The problem is that, like, all I will say is that as somebody who does like watching tennis, who does like watching all these other sports, the big problem is that I enjoy sports more. Not that I care about all this stuff. I enjoy sports more than I feel like I can actively do about sports washing. I don't think I can help it. So I'm at least going to enjoy the sports. I'm at least going to enjoy this. So I'm at least going to enjoy Project B when it comes out. Because let's be real, this is a channel covering women's basketball. It is still basketball. And unpopular opinion, it is like, it's going to be a lot better than Unrivaled. It's going to be a lot better than a glorified. I don't think it's going to be great, but it's going to be better than that glorified summer camp. That's all I'm going to say. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Anyway, see you guys.